we're going to be talking about how to save the planet with my wonderful friends from Planet Save. So, Planet Save, can you please introduce yourselves and what you do in the organization? Go for it. Let's start with Stanley.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for hosting this broadcast, Olivia. Really excited to be doing this stream. Honestly, it's my first time streaming, and it's been an experience setting this all up. My name is Stanley, and I'm the president and co-founder of Planet Save. We were founded in 2017 and are currently a 100% student-led environmental nonprofit based in Monterey Park. And our mission is to engage communities across the world in the international discourse of climate change. I'll go ahead and pass it off to Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm also a student at USC. I'm the publicity manager for Planet Save, so I'm in charge of helping market and stuff like that. Spencer?
Sophie!
Huh? Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, thank you for the Teamwork Dreamwork Award, Mark.
Is this working? Can you hear me?
Sophie, we cannot hear you.
Yes.
Oh,
I can hear Sophie.
okay. Okay, yeah, I was talking.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, that's so odd. Okay, go for it. Go for it, Sophie. Sorry.
Oh, I'll just reintroduce myself then. Or should just Spencer go? Sorry, did.
Oh, hey, Mel.
Oh, hello. My name is Raymond. I'm the director of community at Planet Save. I come up with events and help manage the festivals or the little festivals that happen around the city from year to year. Spencer, go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It is so odd. I can only hear Stanley and Raymond for some reason, but I hope that everybody else can hear Sophie and Spencer because I can't hear you. As long as everybody else can hear you, though.
Quick question to the audience, but how many people can hear Spencer? Like if Spencer is maybe it's his mic or something, or if it's Haps, I'm not really sure.
Me neither.
Oh.
No. Yeah, so I don't.
Spencer, if you plugged in the Yeti, you should switch the mic input on Haps.
Oh, he just logged off. He's probably gonna log back.
He's relogging it, yeah.
No, you still have no sound. But then it's weird because I see Sophie having sound, but I don't hear her.
I can hear Sophie, actually.
Hear me? Can everyone else hear me?
I can hear her. I can hear her.
Yeah,
so we can hear Sophie. Yeah. Okay. So I'll introduce Spencer really quick since he's having technical difficulties. Hopefully, you'll give him a little bit of a breather to work with. Spencer's my brother, and I guess some of you may have realized that Sophie, Spencer, and I all have the same last name. Sophie is not related to Spencer and I, but I'm Spencer's brother. Spencer is the co-president of Planet Save and co-founder. So we've been at it since 2017. He currently heads the engineering department, and he does most of the R&D for our projects that involve any type of engineering at all. He's worked with us for a number of our technical projects, including aquaponics and drone terrain research. If you would like to find out more about all of those awesome projects, please feel free to visit our website. Sophie, would you mind dropping our beacon, please? So in the chat, you guys will find a beacon link. You can find all of our links for our social medias, our website, and stuff like that. Everything that you can possibly want to know about us would be through that beacon link. Spencer, are you good? Oh, I guess still not.
Amazing. Thank you for dropping the link, Sophie. So, according to Bobby Bicker, who just left us a super heart, thank you so much for the super heart. Thank you, City Cynic, for the WOW award. All of the proceeds from today's broadcast will be going to Planet Save. So once you broadcast from your channel on Haps, I will be sending the awards back. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. So all of the proceeds from today's broadcast will go to you.
Sounds good, Olivia. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So if we can't hear Spencer, Bobby was saying that if you...
Oh, there we go. There we go.
We can hear you now.
Hey!
What up?
Okay, what did I miss?
So you could hear us, but we couldn't hear you. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. So
okay.
That's how I do.
We all have audio now.
And now
Good.
I can't hear Sophie, but
Oh, let me try.
Sophie, maybe if you rejoin, I can hear you too.
Oh, man.
This is great. See, everybody's just really getting to know you all. You're really good at handling challenges. Really nice. Love it. Yay, Spencer's back.
Yep.
Can you hear me now? Is this working?
Wait, yay, everybody's back on.
Okay, perfect.
Oh my god, yes. All right. We're good.
Love it. All right, awesome. We've got some people over on Instagram side. We've got some people all over different platforms. So this is really cool. We have like 121 eyeballs looking at us. So that's good. Thank you for your patience while we figure out our technical difficulties. Okay, so everybody's asking, what is Planet Save? Who are you and what do you do?
I can take that question. And Spencer, if you can add a little bit after, that'd be much appreciated, since I'm sure you're way more eloquent when it comes to like the scientific stuff that we do. But
yeah, sure.
Like what we said earlier, Planet Save is a 100% student-run nonprofit, so we really advocate for student leadership and involvement. We are an environmental nonprofit based in the 626 area. We operate mostly in the greater Los Angeles area with a couple of exceptions. We've operated in Hangzhou, China, and also more recently in Vanuatu. It's a South Pacific island nation off the east coast of Australia. And it's kind of like an archipelago. If you guys would like to look up the location, the spelling is Vanuatu. If you want to look them up, they have a really fascinating island history and story. In terms of what we do, so we do a little bit of everything in terms of like the environmental space. We from science to content creation, we look at environmental sciences and conservation as an interdisciplinary subject in which, no matter what field you're involved in, there are ways for you to apply your skill set to the cause of environmental conservation. So, drone research, aquaponics, short films, documentaries, we've done all of that. Public speaking. Spencer, would you like to add a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So some of the projects that we've done in the past with engineering is our drone project, where we partnered with the San Gabriel Valley Water District to build a drone that essentially it's sort of like a methodical data gatherer. You can think of it like that, where it goes from point A to point B and all the points in between, takes a bunch of pictures, and we stitch it together. And we actually create this map of just like hundreds and hundreds of photos of a large area of land. And this data is designed to streamline agriculture and also, in the case of San Gabriel Valley Water District, irrigation systems, because parks use a lot of water, and it's good for the city to know, which areas need more water, which areas need less. Other than that, we also have done a few more goofy projects. So something that we've done is strap like two ducted fans onto a skateboard, all in the name of greener
Alternative
modes of
transportation. Literally, just
yes.
we were just kind of hoping with that project that people would, look at this really obscene creation that we made and go, well, it's zero emission. It doesn't really burn any gasoline or anything, and it goes faster than walking. So, who knows who might innovate the next mode of transportation? It could be you, it could be us, it could be anyone.
Yep. So you got like two super, super noisy fans. It was definitely not efficient, but it was zero emissions.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my gosh. Bobby says that she can't see the faces of you below as they are covered by award banners and text. Okay, let's remove that. Maybe it's possible. Yeah. Okay. So they have been removed. However, we'll still acknowledge your reward. So thank you so much for the Appreciate You Award, the Newsworthy Award, Bobby, and the Mic Drop Award, City Cynic. So we can see the guests. Okay. Let's try this. Maybe we can be in a stack or a grid. There we go. How's that? That'll work. Okay, so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So with all of these different projects and ways to save the planet, what are your current projects and what are the projects that you'll be working on this year in particular?
Thanks for that question. It really gives us an opportunity to speak to some of the more exciting things that we've done this year that we've actually never been able to do in the past. I'll start off, I guess, in a little bit of chronological order, and starting off with the things that I do for the nonprofit in terms of the more arts and business side. We just finished editing and submitting our documentary No Part Too Small to a series of film festivals, and we have a trailer cut out which you guys can find in the beacons link that Sophie is sending. Within that documentary, we explore the island of Vanuatu and try to understand how climate change is affecting the nation and what its people are doing to preserve their homeland. And that document is just extremely, extremely humbling and extremely insightful for if anyone is interested in the history of the South Pacific. Vanuatu has pretty much lived its modernity under colonial influence, and they've recently been able to get independence, or they've recently been able to declare their independence, only to find themselves kind of between a rock and a hard place when it comes to commercial interests and their own environmental preservation. We had the opportunity to actually interview Barack Sope, who was their former prime minister in the late 1990s, I believe, and also the paramount chief of Vanuatu, who is more, he handles more of the cultural leadership side of things for the country. And both of these two figures were able to provide us with extraordinary stories and just information that I believe, being able to publicize it is a really great honor. So do keep your eyes and ears open for any news coming out about the documentary. We are expecting to make a public release sometime in the summer of this year. It really depends on how COVID goes during the summer. If COVID stops pushing back film festivals, we would be allowed to release the film earlier, but we're at the mercy of the spiky boy, Rona. But yeah, that's the documentary. We've done a short film actually that was published in October. It's also on our YouTube if you guys want to check that out. It's kind of like a humorous PSA for anyone who's struggling during quarantine. If you feel like your problems are kind of unique to you, they're not. We all share in the struggle, and hopefully that film will bring a little bit of hope and a little bit of joy to your lives. This year, moving forward, I'll hand the details over to Spencer for him to explain, but we will be doing a couple of technical projects. Spencer?
Yeah, thanks so much. So this year we're actually partnered with Dice Design and Duet 3D, which are two pretty prominent 3D printing companies. So by 3D printing companies, I mean parts rather than actually manufacturing 3D prints. But anyhow, they've been kind enough to sponsor us this year to create a 3D printer that's just designed to use closed loop plastics. So by that, that would mean like recycled plastics, and also we also have like some interesting filaments that we'll be using, such as hemp PLA, which is essentially just like using waste products of weed and infusing it with plastic to create amazing things. So some of the ideas that we have for this year are first succulent planters that we will be passing out to our local community, and also an aquaponics system. So what an aquaponics system is, it's essentially creating, it's like growing plants from fish waste. So you've got like a tank underneath, has like a bunch of goldfish or literally like any type of fish. Like in a large scale production, you would technically have tilapia or like some sort of fish that you could eat, but I'm pretty sure no one here wants to eat goldfish or guppies. So we'll sort of be cutting that part out. But essentially, fish, they gotta poop. So they also, like, surprisingly, fish pee. And this ammonia, which is in their pee, and RP, of course, is really, really good for plants. So, like, we're essentially using more fish pee than fish poo to feed our plants, which we will eventually eat. So it kind of sounds nasty, but just think of it like this. You've got, like, some really good bacteria up in the grow tank, and we're using like expanded clay pebbles, so we got more surface area for that good bacteria. Good bacteria breaks down ammonia into nitrates and nitrites. Nitrates are the good stuff. Nitrates get absorbed by our basil plants or whatever we grow, and then eventually we will be consuming these nitrates. So it's basically it's like this entire ecosystem, like self-sustained, very, very good, 90% less water. And we're going to be creating a showcase unit for our either like our library or any like public facility at our city. Really, we haven't worked out the logistics for that quite yet. But yeah, it's an amazing technology. 90% more water efficient. It grows plants much faster, and it's going to be real great if we can get people to also learn about, how 3D printing is actually helping the environment. Because people think that 3D printing, it's like, oh, you're just creating plastic. Well, plastic's bad for the environment, right? Well, yeah, technically, yes. But there is also another side to 3D printing, which is the side we're exploring, where we're using recycled plastics. So these recycled plastics ultimately will cause like a lot less harm to the environment. Plus, you're making, productive things out of essentially like trash. But yeah, that's a preview of what we'll be doing this year.
That is so awesome. I love the incorporation of technology and engineering and nature and putting everything together in 3D printing into being more environmentally conscious and being able to, I know, right, Catherine? It's like learning the science behind saving the planet basically is so incredible. And I love that you're all students, right? This is a student organization.
Yeah, we're comprised of mostly high school students. The most of the executive leadership is in college.
Wow, that's even more impressive. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we really love using the brain power of younger people because honestly, it's kind of like a life outlook for me. But I find that the older you get, the less creative you are. Like genuinely, I believe that is a thing that happens. You're more the more you understand systems of the world and like how reality works, the less or the more rigid your thought process becomes. So we would never have come up with like maybe half the projects that we thought of. We weren't utilizing and bouncing ideas back and forth between younger people. So yeah, thank you very much, high schoolers. Thank you very much.
That's so amazing. And I love honoring that too, because every age group offers something different, right? So
For sure.
and I completely agree. And I think it's actually based off of it's an anatomy situation, right? Because when we are using our, I guess, our left brain, we're constantly exercising that and being responsible and paying bills and like trying to figure things out. Oh no, less creative as you get older. No, sir. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that entire statement, but more so about different age groups and different people with different strengths and highlighting those strengths and working with strengths.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's not. I don't think it's necessarily like the case for like everyone. It's just like I'm a really I'm a film student, and I one of the most fascinating art movements, in my opinion, is actually surrealism. And one of the biggest tenets of surrealism is you're trying to go back to a mentality, a point in time, and for your mental state in which you understand less about the world. So when you look at a paperclip, you're not just limited to thinking, oh, it's a paperclip. There was a test done with a bunch of kids that when they were asked, when they were prompted, like, oh, what does this paperclip do? Like, what can you use it for? There were answers like spaceships and stuff. But when asked for when adults were asked, they're more likely to say things like, oh, it could be used as a lockpick. It can be used to clip your financial reports together and stuff like that. So but that's where I was going with that.
oh yeah, I think that's where kind of the imagination takes place too. So yeah, really really cool insights and just such an amazing situation to put together in order to for a good cause, right? um Mike says hi. Mike is part of one of the newest members of my team, so hello Mike.
Oh,
He
hi,
says
Mike.
3D
Hello.
printer. It's a cheap one, but it's still good. I didn't know there were cheap 3D printers. That's amazing.
Oh man, Spencer has the experience with all that.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, my first printer, like someone out there, or I should say a significant amount of people out there recommended this one brand. It's called Two Trees. And they got this model called the Sapphire Pro. And it came, and for the first few prints, it was pretty good. Like I got to give it to it. It was pretty good. But everything after that, it just went downhill like so bad, like so hard. But I am pretty convinced that like back then, I was pretty convinced that I could make this thing work. And fast forward 1 year, it's now technically working. It's nominal, but the amount of parts I had to replace on that thing, it's basically making a new printer. So this year, I was just like, you know what, screw it. Like if I basically made this printer, remade it, I might as well just make one from scratch. And yeah, that's what inspired this year's project.
Whoa, that is crazy. You made a 3D printer?
I mean, at this point, I basically remade it because I had to replace almost every part. And on top of that, I had to like reprogram the firmware to accept the new parts. And
Okay.
yeah.
I see where you're going. It's like the days when I used to revive all of my old laptops. I'm literally looking at like 3 old laptops, and I just love taking it apart and then putting in a new part. And then by the end of this laptop's lifetime, I've already like the whole thing has like a whole new motherboard, new RAM, new memory, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's basically building a laptop from scratch. It's like a Frankenstein project. Yeah,
Hey,
that's so
but
awesome,
zero, no e-waste, right? I mean, if you can use it, then
right? That's what I'm
yeah.
thinking. Okay, so that's awesome. Okay, so how can people, our lovely watchers, get involved? How can they help? How can they help you save the planet?
Yeah, I think all of us can probably speak to that. Spencer, Sophie, Raymond, and I, we all run different departments or divisions within the team. For me, I guess I'll just focus a little bit more on like the financial business side and I guess the art side as well. I guess the number one thing for a nonprofit is the lifeblood of any nonprofit or small nonprofit, startup nonprofits is donations. And as like boring as it is to say that, it's really true. when I first started this nonprofit, I was like, oh, I really want to grow this really fast. I want to get a bunch of sponsorships and partnerships and grants and all that stuff. But the truth of that is, it's kind of difficult to compete for those grants when like every other nonprofit is also after them. So definitely donations will help us, for just move along our projects and help us maintain our productivity. Even during Zoom, or during quarantine, we do have our projects still going. We're still kicking R&D and all that stuff. Or whenever we come back and are able to do things in public, if you visit our website, you guys would be able to find a donation page or how we can help page. And if you click on that link, it'll take you to like a PayPal UI, and you guys can, if you're feeling generous, you guys can choose however much you want to donate via that link. We'll be forever grateful for your donation, and you guys will definitely be updated with how we're using that money. We post all of the stuff on our Instagram or Facebook, and albeit a little slower to update, our website will also eventually catch up to our social media in the end as well. If you guys are if you guys can represent your companies wherever you guys work, or if you guys are business owners, we would love to see how we can work together as well. We are always looking for partnerships, and those are partnerships are actually one of the best ways for us to get projects off the ground. And sometimes through partnerships, we discover projects that we would not even have thought of doing if it weren't for the partnership. So if you guys, if your companies or if your own companies would like to partner with us on anything, please do let us know. We have a contact page on our website. You guys can go ahead and use that link, and someone within the organization will get back to you. In terms of our content creation and our artwork, we've been expanding our social media and our art departments this year, and I think the best way to support us in the art side of things would be to follow us, give us a little bit of love on our social medias, watch our content, comment, interact, drop likes, and share. Really, that's something that would help us a lot, especially our documentary trailer, because we are trying to build up momentum for this documentary drop. So we would really appreciate it if this documentary trailer could get to as many people as possible. I promise you guys, we think of documentaries as what's a documentary called, like Planet Earth or something like that. Like, yeah, it's not really Planet Earth, because we do take into account like cultural and social phenomena in the documentary. I promise you, it's a good watch. It's definitely something worth being excited for. So Sophie, Raymond, Spencer, anyone want to pick it up from there?
I mean, like, I would just watch the drone footage, which I did. So this is kind of like, self-promo. But anyway, I would watch the drone footage in this documentary as a sort of vacation idea, because it is just, quite frankly, it's stunning. I have never seen water this blue. And let me just mute that. I've never seen water this blue. And it's just so much green and blue. I honestly don't even know what to say after that.
Yeah, like you guys have said, just exposure is such a big part of what we're trying to accomplish. The more people we can tell about our nonprofit, the more people can get involved, and just the more we can help, pretty much. So yeah, checking out the sites, I think everything pretty much is on our Beacons page, actually. So the trailer, the Instagram, all of our different accounts and stuff like that. Yeah, like Mel says, you won't regret it. Perhaps Stanley's account is going to be the main one that we're going to be streaming on. So checking out when we stream, we'll probably all be live anyways. But yes, all of that would be very, very helpful and appreciated.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I love documentaries. I absolutely love documentaries. I think that's like all I watch these days are documentaries and docu-series. So I don't. Your parents must be very proud.
I actually like refound my interest of documentaries during quarantine. I don't know if like anyone else has experienced this, but I went through a phase in my childhood where like whenever my parents are like, "Hey, let's watch a documentary," I'm just like, "Oh no, another one." but now it's like it's so interesting to see like a really raw, unfiltered kind of approach to filmmaking, and I don't know. I've learned so much from documentaries like The Social Dilemma. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys have watched that, but yeah, The Social Dilemma is also a really good documentary. It's about social media and how it's changing the way that we think. And I just wanted to give a mention to Charles. Thank you very much. I know my parents are really proud of me, but I'm equally sure that Sophie's and Raymond's parents are proud of them as well.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, thank you all so much for being part of the broadcast. This has been so incredibly fun, and I hope that you continue to broadcast to inform everyone about your good work. I think this is really absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad we connected through the networking group that I'm part of. It's BNI, and this has been so cool. Without that group, we would have never. I don't think we ever would have came across each other, right?
Yeah,
So this
like it was. I don't know. It was just like a chance, like connection with Fred Cernoso, our city council member. Just yeah, I really I don't know. That was just a really random occurrence, and I'm so glad that we were able to do this together. Honestly, like this has opened up a couple of doors for us, and I just wanted to extend our appreciation to you, Olivia, for inviting us to do this.
You're so welcome. I am so honored
Thank
to
you.
have you all here. You're so welcome. Yeah. So let me know if you ever need anything, any help with HAPS. I think today went pretty smooth, other than like a few hiccups in the beginning. But as you continue to broadcast on here, you'll know that this is absolutely one of the best live streaming platforms, if not the best live streaming platforms on the market right now, and especially since we're able to broadcast to I think 10 different networks at the same time. So yeah, this has been really awesome. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you would like to support Planet Save, you can go to beacons.page/Planet Save. Again, that's beacons.page/Planet Save. Sophie has included the link in our comments here several times, so you should be able to find it. If not, then it was just posted moments ago. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks so
Olivia.
much,
Thank you,
Olivia.
everyone.